And eventually, the word came that we couldn't march because there were so many people that the route was jammed. There was no place to go. And so here are these people who had stood there just being so, I mean, people were, we were in a crowd of 100,000 people just in our little corner, and people would bump into each other and always be so, I'm so, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. Or, it was that same feeling as at the cemetery. It was like there was something very right and very, very pure in some ways. There were two people who walked by who had Make America Great Again hats, who made their way through this crowd, not even needing to fear for their life or limb, as everybody said, maybe you want to go on through here and pass. And I loved that feeling about it being all about what's really about hope. Some of you have heard my reflection at the cemetery. The next day, we had always planned to do something at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we always said, we have no idea how the election's going to come out. No matter how it comes out, Susan B. Anthony would say, we have to get back to work. That's what she said, pass on and get on with the cause. And so a handful of us showed up in the rain at 8 o'clock in the morning. And what struck me was looking across Susan's grave and Mary's grave. There is a large stone that is the family stone. It's a pillar. And it's got 4 edges. And at the capstone, there are words carved into the granite. And the words, as you walk around the 4 sides, are liberty, equality, justice, and humanity. And it struck me that that embodied the values that I project onto Susan B. Anthony, even though she's a human being and she's no saint like the rest of us. But to me, those also, in unison, those 4 values are for me what make democracy best. If you leave off humanity, you don't get there. If you leave off justice, you don't get there. If you leave off liberty, you don't get there. And if you leave off equality, you don't get there. And to me, that's, if anything, I think that the League of Women Voters has a unique role in terms of teaching generations, again, how to talk about difficult issues. And I think we learned from this election we weren't doing that. There are a lot of people that I vote for, and I don't know what they think about issues that are really important to me. They've never had to tell me what they think, and I don't know how they handle things that are complicated because I've never seen them doing the sausage of elected office. And I think the League has such an amazing role to play in that education and bringing people back to that. And then the question is, how do we bridge the gap of communicating with people so that they hear and are engaged, so that we can continue. Susan B. Anthony understood that democracy was something that required tremendous commitment on all levels. I wanted to share a quote with you from her that was in her later years. One, just the observation. A reporter asked her, you're all about women's rights, right? And she said, no, but if you could make the world right for half the population, why not start there?
Say that again.
She said, if you could change the world for half the population, why not start there? I'm trying to get to my quote, and I have to. She said, we've always claimed our movement was human rights, not woman's rights. Therefore, we need not confine ourselves to the evils that woman suffers alone, but in larger borders, as the truth shall be revealed.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Christine, do you want to?
I just think your presentation was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I don't know whether all of our League members know that we are celebrating 3 anniversaries this year because of the women's vote, the right to vote in New York, and we're having at our convention a trip down to Seneca Falls we're having our convention in Syracuse, and we're having that Friday, we go down to Seneca Falls and back and have a tour. And then we have 2019 because that's when New York, that's when the League of Women Voters, I'm mixing my anniversary stuff, the League of Women Voters started. Okay, and then of course 2020 with the federal. And if you go online or go to our website, we've got another calendar that has a lot of stuff that's going to be all around the state. And I think it would be wonderful if we could somehow link the 2 together, because everything you have is just wonderful. Thank you.
Christine?
I'm behind you.
Kathy.
So, the question on your exhibit, your question on the exhibit at our public library that will then go out to other public libraries in trying to do the future so the young people will be ready to vote in November. We'll have a primary in September, which I would think would be very important to people, I would hope. You know, major city with a very active primary, I would predict. To talk about the future, your description just now of what you felt in DC, it was the Women's March. And, you know, how did that happen in a pretty short period of time because of technology, as opposed to what Susan B. Anthony had to do in the century she lived in, getting on a train and taking days to get there and having 30 minutes with sometimes a dozen people, or writing a note of, you know, 6 or 7 lines, and sometimes that note just made a huge difference. You know, she just wrote the note to the right person at the right time. And what you said was just wonderful. Do you know other people that were on the bus, and do you have a way of, I mean, if each person were to describe what you just described and why that march was so important? Because I find the dialogue in the New York State Assembly and the New York State Senate, I'm one of those people that watches Channel 83 on Spectrum, I think you will find quite a difference in focus, amount of time, and content between male representatives and female representatives. And the issues right now where I find it amazing, because there's a little bit of me that doesn't want to believe it, but there is a difference in focus by gender, pay equity, health care. I find a huge difference on health care. So looking at the number of women, they're only 25%, but who's the chair of the committees, when the hearings are held, and I don't know if anyone ever studies that. There must be some political scientists out there, right?
There's actually
That
a study
that
out by
studies
Pew
that.
Research that's relatively recent that looks at some of the differences in just how, it's based on polling, and it looks at how women poll on certain issues versus men. And it does show differences in that, you know, women tend to favor certain issues over men. But the differences are still, they're fairly close. They're on most of the issues, if I'm recalling correctly, they were within 10 percentage points. And some of them even, you know, slimmer than that, where, you know, the women might be more concerned about health issues, for example. I think immigration, LGBT issues tended to be, those are some of the things that women tended to place a little bit higher or of a little bit more importance than men did. But again, it was still relatively narrow.
Is that true of elected female?
The study I saw was just based on polling of voters. So I have not yet seen anything on elected officials, although I'd love to.
I thought one of the
if you
most
know it.
striking things about the National Health Care Act in 2009 was at the end, when they needed to pull that all together and what was going to be in it and not be in it, was the last 48 hours after 18 months, almost every single speaker was a woman.
Every single one.
Every single speaker on the floor of the Senate and the House of Representatives were the women. It was one after another on a very specific, very small section. What you do with foster care children when they age out, how do they get their health care? Those real specific, daily living, what it means to you. And there weren't any men sitting in their seats listening.
No.
I found it striking.
Yeah.
It's interesting that, you know, we have to give all the credit to men for women getting the right to vote. Because in the end, it was men who all did the right thing. And voted for women to get the right to vote. There were lots of men at both the Women's March and lots of men at the cemetery. I think that one of the things that's interesting is the reasons that some men go into politics are very different from the reasons that women go into politics. And one of the things that we know through Women Elect and some of the other pushes to get more women involved is that women are afraid of going into politics. You know, we're in an era where you'll get harassed on social media, where your family will get threatened. And a lot of men who go into politics don't have to face that. So I think one of the pieces is that it attracts a different breed of person. If you want it because you want power and the visibility, as opposed to you want to because you're fed up and you want to do something. But Susan B. Anthony observed in the late 19th century that a lot of the women who had gained power were not what she'd hoped. That it was not a gender-specific thing necessarily. But there are all kinds of trends. Christine, would you like a last word as we close?
I just want to thank you all for being here, and I hope that you will participate in the many events that we have going this year. We hope to see you at the Central Library for the exhibit, and of course, along the route of the Votilla, and in Rochester during Suffragist City Days. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Deborah, Christine, and Miss Anthony. We appreciate your leading us in this important discussion tonight, which we hope will continue within the community. We thank our hosts here at Asbury First United Methodist Church, our program chair, Mary Myers, and all members of our league who have made the forum possible. You'll find information on the League of Women Voters and on Susan B. Anthony House and other
Yeah, there's
information.
some information about programs at the Central Library, and make sure you pick up your buttons too.
Great, oh yes.
Wear them
reminder.
proudly.
Good reminder. Before you leave, our next forum will be held on April 24th, right here at 7 p.m. The forum's title is, Can Monroe County Reduce Poverty by 50% in 15 years? There's a wonderful panel established, and we hope that you'll mark your calendar and come back on April 24th. In the meantime, thank you.
Thank you very much.